Hey everybody, it's nutritionist Amy Berger from toitnutrition.com with the next installment in doing keto without the crazy. I'm not really sure how to phrase today's topic. I guess I'm going to call it having faith in the ketogenic diet. And the reason I wanted to do this video is because recently there's been this sort of avalanche of articles that have rekindled medical and scientific criticism of the ketogenic diet, whether it's a paper that actually just came out, I think, yesterday about eggs and how eggs, eating too many eggs causes heart disease. There was a story about whether ketogenic diets cause atrial fibrillation or AFib. Um, dare I even give 1 second of airtime to keto crotch if you saw those articles. There's just been this whole slew of anti-keto and fear-mongering keto articles. I think keto bloat was another one. All this utter jacked up nonsense garbage. And it's one thing when it comes from critics of the diet who've always been critics of the diet. It's one thing when Harvard friggin' public health school does what they've always done, which is put out the most useless nonsense. And I have to be careful because I have a great deal of respect for some people I know that work at Harvard, but if I understand correctly, they are at the medical school, they're not at the public health school or the nutrition school, which is where a lot of this crap is coming out of. So it's one thing when it comes from where it's always come from. But it's another thing when within the keto community, people are becoming uncertain. And let me sort of be clear. I'm not trying to discourage curiosity and questioning and asking for proof, right? We should be doing that. We should want that. We should welcome it, and I do. Meaning, when one of these stories comes out, if you're new to this, you have every right to say, well, oh my God, is that true? Like, do eggs cause heart disease? Like, does keto cause AFib? Is my vagina gonna smell like you know what if I do the ketogenic diet? It's okay to ask those questions. I don't want to say we're not allowed to ask, because if I say that, then we start going into vegan territory, right? Vegans are the ones who are supposed to just blindly follow, literally blindly close your eyes, never look at the iron deficiency over there, don't look at the hair loss over there, don't look at the sallow skin over there, don't look at the fact that you've lost your period over there. They're not allowed to question because that's a religion, and religion you take on faith. You don't need proof, you don't ask for proof. If you do, you're out, you're excommunicated. I think in keto, we do welcome questioning. I think the reason I wanted to do this video is because I'm curious as to why you do question. And when I say you, I mean you, if you're watching this and you happen to be one of these people who every time one of these studies comes out, you post on Mark Sisson's blog, hey Mark, can you write a rebuttal to so-and-so? Or you say, hey Rob Wolf, did you see that study on such and such? What do you think? Or you send me a tweet, Amy, did you see this study? Thoughts? Question mark. You are allowed to question, but let me ask you a question. Let's turn the tables here. Let's say you've been doing keto a while. Let's say it's been years, even if it's only been 6 months. You've lost a substantial amount of weight. Maybe you've even discontinued or reduced all or most of your type 2 diabetes medications. If you have type 1 diabetes, maybe you've dramatically reduced your insulin requirements. Maybe you're off medication for hypertension. Maybe if you have PCOS, you have begun to menstruate regularly again. Maybe you feel more energy. Maybe if you had a mood issue, it's gone. So I'm recording on March 15th again. I think I need another cough drop. Oh my God. I've had so many of these things. Oh my goodness, my garbage can is going to be nothing but cough drop wrappers. Um, you have more energy, you feel good, your skin is clear, your doctor is happy because your A1C has come down hugely. Your glucose is down, your weight is down, your triglycerides are down, your inflammatory markers are down. The only thing that's up is your HDL. Or maybe your LDL is up too, and that's probably okay on a ketogenic diet. That's an issue for another time. Everything looks really good. You feel like a new person. You look like a new person. Keto is the single best thing that's ever happened to you, or close to it. Maybe it's not better than the birth of your children. Maybe it's not better than meeting your spouse or significant other. But it's up there, right? It's one of the best things that's ever happened to you. With that in mind, why do you feel uncertain all of a sudden when one of these studies comes out? Eggs are going to kill you. Well, you've been eating more eggs in the last however many months than you've eaten in your whole life, and you are healthier than you've ever been. You may have actually had a cardiovascular problem that's gone away. Maybe your heart's better now. Maybe you had chest pain and it's gone. Maybe you were on some type of medication and you were able to stop. So why would keto cause AFib? You know, every single time one of these comes out and we question it, like, oh my God, like maybe this diet is going to kill me. I mean, I look better than I've ever looked. I feel better than I've ever felt. I have more energy. I'm not depressed. Everything's great, but maybe I'm going to die tomorrow. Maybe this diet is going to kill me. What? Can we stop doing that? Like, I literally don't understand. I don't know why we're doing that. And all I can say is that 10 times out of 10, the headlines are completely unrelated to what the research actually was. It's always based on some kind of study, but if you are able to access the full text of the study and you read it, it has nothing even remotely to do with how it was reported on to the public. The headlines, the fear-mongering sound bites that come out of it are totally unrelated to the data. And the most glaring error is that half the time, it's not even a ketogenic or low-carb diet. Half the time, they're talking about diets that are 40% carbohydrate. And 40% carbohydrate might be lower than most Americans are eating, but it's not low. It's way more than I'm eating. It's way more than probably most of you are eating. It's way more than any of us are eating on a ketogenic or low-carb diet. You know, and in the cases where that's not the issue, it's done in rats, it's done in mice, it's done in some animal that has a significant physiological difference from humans. Or even if it is done in rats and mice, and even if it is ketogenic ratios where, let's say, it's 80% fat, 10% protein, 10% carbs, or, 80% fat, 15% protein, 5% carbs, it's almost invariably the fat is some toxic sludge combination of cottonseed oil and corn oil and soybean oil, and the protein source is like isolated casein, and the starch is maltodextrin. So it's not like they're giving these mice grass-fed beef with organic avocado oil. I think it's just utter nonsense. And I could probably, I'll do a separate video sometime maybe on specific problems with this type of research. I mean, those are just two examples, but you just cannot take these headlines at face value. If you're living in 2019 and you've spent any amount of time on this planet, if you were not born yesterday, you know what they say, I was born during the day, I wasn't born today. If you spent any amount of time on this planet and you have more than 2 working neurons that are communicating with each other, you have to understand that the way things are now, attention is currency. Clicks are currency. Clicks mean money. Likes and shares mean money. Buzz means money. So the more sensationalist, the more alarmist they can write a headline, the more clicks and shares it's going to generate. And so that's why they do it. If they represented what was truly found in the study, you would have the most boring headlines ever. Or if it was like true to life, it wouldn't say ketogenic diet. It would say a diet of utter, phenomenally poisonous trash shortens rat lifespan by 4 hours. Like, that's the kind of SHIT they would have to report if they were being true to some of this data. And I personally really wish we would stop sharing this altogether, because we're doing exactly what they want us to do. The more we share it, the more we discuss it, the more we talk about it, the more clicks it gets, the more attention it gets. The single best thing we can do about any of this is fucking ignore it. Ignore it. And I know there's people that disagree with me. And to be honest, I disagree with myself a little bit. If you are familiar with the researcher Zoe Harcombe, Harcombe, I think her website is zoeharcombe.net or .com. You can just search Zoe, Zoe Harcombe, search for her. She's fabulous. She's phenomenal. She does absolutely dynamite jobs of debunking these nonsense studies every time they come out. Dr. Georgia Ede is very good at this too. Her website is diagnosisdiet.com. Nina Teicholz, again, who wrote The Big Fat Surprise, and she's with the Nutrition Coalition. Also, 3 dynamite ladies at pointing out the utter tomfoolery, nonsense, outlandish falsehoods that are going on in not the science, but in the way the science is reported. And the science, even, it's a little problematic the way they write the abstracts and the way they write the conclusions, because it sort of leads you to believe things that were not actually shown. They can make an effect sound much, much greater or much, much more drastic than it really was in the study. So I just, as much as I want everyone to ignore all of these, I understand why we can't. I understand that as a community, we do have to rebut this, because there is a very large, very powerful, very financially well-backed, very savvy cabal, international cabal of people that are working very, very diligently to take away our right to eat precisely the kinds of foods that we all love on our beloved ketogenic diets. Red meat, fatty pork, cheese, bacon, in fact, fatty animal foods of any kind. Egg yolks, butter, cream, not just fatty animal foods, those are the worst, animal foods of any kind. So we do have to counter this. We have to counter the environmental argument, which is bogus. We have to counter the nutritional argument, which is bogus. So I'm very thankful to the people that are willing to take the time to do that debunking, because it does have to be done, but I wish it didn't. Because every time we do it, it just gets more and more traffic over every single website, every single platform, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, blogs, podcasts, YouTube. And I honestly think the single best thing we can do is ignore it, let it die, that because they want it to get clicks. And I know that we have to present this united front. I know we have to counter it, but I just, for you as an individual, just have faith in the process, trust the process, because you've seen it. You've experienced it in your own body, in your own life. Or if you're brand new to keto, maybe you're too new to have had your transformation or whatever you want to call it, but you're here for a reason. You've seen the transformation in enough other people that you have faith it works. Why Why would a diet that has, by every appreciable measure, improved your health and well-being, why would that diet all of a sudden now be harmful, be out to kill you? I don't know. I don't know why. Someone out there, a lot of very wealthy, very powerful, very influential someones want you to think that. Don't let them do it. I tend to repeat myself way too much on these videos. I do it on podcasts and my blog too. I just, like, seriously, I want to cry. I want us to stop freaking sharing all that stuff. Just ignore it. But I know we can't. And it's a shame. It's a shame that society has gotten to that point. That scientific literacy, that nutritional literacy, that biochemical literacy has become so defunct. We have so little knowledge about how our own bodies work that we'll believe anything. We will believe anything we're told. Keto causes X. Keto kills this. Keto does that. We have so little knowledge as to the actual human physiology that we'll believe any bit of nonsense that crosses our screen. Please don't do that. I said in a previous video, I know my audience is more intelligent than that. Don't fall for the crap. Don't fall for the nonsense. That's it, I guess. Man, I'm just frustrated, and I wish I had something more creative to say and more diverse ways to express my frustration, but oh well. Thank you for watching. Remember to check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/doitnutrition. If you don't want to use Patreon, you can still support my work with a one-time or recurring contribution on PayPal. That's paypal.com. You can send to my email address, which is doitnutrition@gmail.com. And I'm going to show you, because I was making jokes about how I was wearing that purple sweater for like 5 videos. Do you want to see the pants I'm wearing? I'm going to show you my pants. Are you ready for this? You're going to laugh. My very, very favorite pair of Superman pajama pants. Look how cute. They're Superman. Superman pants. I'm kind of a Superman junkie. These are my favorite Superman pants. Who was the best Superman? Christopher Reeve, and I will fight you. I will fight you if you say otherwise. Christopher Reeve is Superman to me. I mean, I'm a child of the 80s. He is my Superman. And that's it. Time to shut up. See you next time. Bye.